Hey guys, Christo Garcia, My Swing Evolution. I'm out here with this Apex 2 1 iron that one of my friends Mario sent me from England. Oh my gosh, I was in my storage unit and I was cleaning everything out and I came across this. I cannot wait to hit it. It is a number 4 shaft, which is a stiff shaft, and I am fired up because I have my new Hogan Icon irons that are on the way. They just got them, built out for me with my KBS Tour 110 stiff shafts, and all my specs. My clubs, I order them 2 degrees flat. For a while there, I was 4 degrees flat with my golf swing, and now I'm about 2 degrees flat. But what I want to work on today is how the arms work in the golf swing. You may have seen my most recent video with Michael Jordan, which was pretty interesting because, Michael Jordan is a super athlete, and he's obviously the man. But I just feel like he's been doing the modern swing or something, and he's in this problem that I see where it looks like he's swinging his arms around his shoulders, and it's really difficult to recover from there. I've been there myself. In fact, what I'm working on right now is lifting my arms. That's what Ben Hogan said the arms do in the golf swing, is that they lift. And I'll just have to set the camera down and describe this a little bit better. So let's see what we got here. Hey, Donnie, how are you? So it's going to be hard for me to read all the questions, but if I catch a question and I can respond to it, I certainly will. And so here we are. The problem that I see so many of my golfers have is they start to swing the club around their shoulders like this, because the golf swing looks like a circle. But what I'm saying is Ben Hogan said the arms lift and fall in the golf swing. So it actually is, I've griped for years about the chop golf swing, but that motion is partially in the golf swing. Hey Ron, that's awesome that you're digging the golf system. So check this out. So you've all seen me do this exercise. Like, this is super duper key, right? Where I make sure that my weight's in my right foot on the inside between the ball of my foot and the heel, and I want to press off in the other direction. I want to make a good solid weight shift, okay? So if my arms lift, like this looks kind of strange, but if I twist and stay in my posture, the arms go right where they need to go. Whereas if I went around, this is what my buddy Lance was doing, it's what Michael Jordan was doing. That's why I'm pointing it out in these videos, is because you're gonna have a really hard time recovering here. It's such a subtle difference. It's very hard to even see, but if you look at Ben Hogan, he's lifting the arms. And it looks kind of flat, so that's the thing that's kind of deceptive about it. And that's why I'm trying to bring this up right now. I just think that it's an interesting subject that people should be aware of. Another thing, with these classic swingers is they all have a great weight shift. I feel like it's criminal today that in golf instruction, that the classic swing style is virtually non-existent. And what I mean by that is people are trying to, stay in the same spot like this. One of the analogies I've heard from one of my professional friends is, imagine it's a tether ball and the ball is going around the pole in the ground. So they don't teach this weight shift. And I'm like, man, you can't tell me that Ben Hogan and Jack Nicklaus were wrong. That's just how good they were. This is a great question I just got from Aaron about should the arms be passive or active. I have explored this through my swing evolution. At times, I've tried to be active with my arms, and at really where I'm at now is trying to let them be passive. I want them to be passive, but with some sort of structure. Like, I don't want them to be complete spaghetti because I have to hold them in the right position. But what I don't want to do is gas down in this direction, like, ugh, like it's gonna happen. Basically, if I can work from the ground up, my kinetic chain. Now, this is one of the great tips from Percy Boomer. He was one of the great golf instructors from the early half of the 20th century. He said, it's okay for everything to go back together, but on the way down, it starts from the ground up. So through the ankles and knees, through the hips, through the core, through the shoulders pull the arms, and then the club head is the last thing to come around. They didn't used to talk about lag, they used to talk about the delayed hit. So basically, the hit starts with the legs. You start with the legs. So what I'm saying is I don't want to gas my arms right at the top. You know, that's just going to make everything lock up. One of the drills I like to do with my students is I'll hold the head of the golf club like this, and I'll say, move the head of the golf club, and they try and move me, you know, by just twisting their wrists like this. As soon as you start to press with your arms, this locks down in place and stops turning. So you have to be passive to allow the core to continue to turn. Because as soon as you start to work the arms, that has to work off of a stable core. So it slows your core down as soon as you engage the arms, if you fire them too early. So I just, I want to feel like I'm throwing a ball. Like when I get up here, I want to feel like I'm gonna, throw a ball. And that's just how it works. So these are the important things, the subtle things that you have to learn about how to use the arms. And now I understand, like, would you believe that most of the scratch players that I know, the top players, um, they really did not grow up taking a lot of lessons. They were just good. But unfortunately, 97% of golfers don't get the swing so inherently and so naturally. So we have to make these distinctions. I play with my buddy, Mo has 4 club championships, and my buddy Chris Bowler has 5 club championships at my home course. And both of those guys lift their arms, they tuck their pelvis, they just are naturals, and they just hit the snot out of the ball. They both played baseball and hockey. Hey, Matthew, so gosh, Matthew, I couldn't even read that. You're asking something about a slice, but the question was so long it like pops up and disappeared. But the problem for me with the slice is the arms getting out of position and the wheel of the shoulders going left like this. You can even go inside over the top. If you look at, for me, the guys that I like, that I'm really just such a big believer in, is keeping this all in one piece, and as I turn, it's gonna move to the inside, right? And I almost feel like I'm pushing the palm of my heel away. You know how Hogan got that cup worked up into his wrist. I wanna feel length this way. A lot of these guys are teaching like this, and as soon as this lead arm goes into internal rotation, you're in a really weak position. But when you see it exaggerated, you see Matthew Wolf, you see Jim Furyk, and you also see Calvin Peete. That they keep this arm just right like this, but they don't rotate the wrist at all, which gives it this really exaggerated look of looping the club head. I actually have that same feeling. The funny thing is, I've tried to imitate them and make the same exaggerated loop. but it just looks pretty normal, like my swing normally does. But I want to feel like this is my elbow motion right here. I want to feel that I'm going to throw this club underhanded around my body. And if I can make a smooth weight transfer and get my arms working properly, then that gives it that really smooth look. That's I believe that one simple thing you can work on to try and get that is to get that smooth look. That's what Louis Oosthuizen, Freddie Couples, you know, obviously Ben Hogan, they don't look like they have any craziness. But here's one of the things I've been freaking out about lately is my buddy Dr. Blade. He's on the My Swing Evolution Facebook page a lot. You guys should check that out, by the way. It's a great forum where we talk a lot about golf. Yeah, it's what I call the golden loop. Is, you know, I feel like the club head is going to loop because it puts me in a position. Yes, just like a forehand in tennis. Would you guys know I got to give Pete Sampras a golf lesson in his backyard? Isn't that crazy? Okay, on the way up, I'm right-handed, so to get the loop, I want my right elbow and arm over my left until I lift it off. And then I want it the opposite. I want my right elbow under. Right elbow over, right elbow under. And then that loops the club head. But as I put energy into the swing, it kind of takes the loop so it's not very visible. Like it would look like this if I go slow, but the more speed I put into it, the more it looks like it's just staying on plane. But it certainly feels like I'm putting that into it. Whew. So these are just some of the things that I think that are really important to talk about that I'm working on. I'm supposed to get to play golf on Monday. I'm so excited. I can't even tell you. That's tomorrow. Oh my gosh. And guys, listen to this. When I was in storage, not only did I pull out, you know, some of my old favorite clubs, which by the way, I have the Hogan Icon irons on the way. I pulled an old bullseye putter out of my garage storage. And guys, the biggest problem in my game is I've had the yips and I have not been putting well. Hey Oscar, I'm just so glad that I've gotten to, you know, so much better striking the ball. But I'm hitting the ball the best of my life, you know. But man, if I could get that ball in the hole. So I found this bullseye putter that I had bought years ago that I just stuck in the storage, and that's the putter that I had when I was a kid. So since I've been in this quarantine, I've been putting around, you know, on the carpet with that old bullseye putter, and I am so excited. That's great. You're going to be able to play in 2 weeks in England, so that's going to be fantastic. But tomorrow I'm going to pull out this bullseye putter on the golf course, and God, I've been having dreams and all sorts of craziness that I'm playing in tournaments and I'm putting better. But, you know, it's crazy for me to do things like, you know, shoot a couple under par with 31 putts. You know, I'm just like a terrible putter. But I got to stop saying that. I got to stop saying that and programming my mind that way. So what I've been doing for the last few weeks since I got that bullseye putter is I'm telling myself I've got the touch that I had when I was a kid, and I'm the world's greatest putter. So if I can combine that with some good technique and practice, I have to reinforce it with practice. This year's all about the putting evolution. Wow. So, you know, Tiger 26 putts a round. You know, if I could have taken five putts off that round, you know, shoot, that would have been a 7 under par round of golf. I hit a bunch of greens and missed a lot of putts. I missed like 4 short putts. It just breaks your heart. And I can see why putting has driven many golfers out. I know that Hubert Green had trouble with it. Ben Hogan at the end of his career. George Knudson wasn't a good putter, you know. So, hey, from Korea, how you guys doing over there? I hope that you're doing great. So, wow, it's so fun to have an audience from England, Korea, all around the United States. Yeah, where are you other guys from? Tell me a little bit more if anybody's around. Yeah, that's so true, EL, that there's just, when you talk about, I want to get that Rotella book. Um, wow, Cape Cod, Netherlands. So great, guys. Alphonse, it's great to hear from you. Um, the sexy part of the game is hitting the ball. Hi, Scott. Central Illinois, Ohio, outstanding. It's the sexy part of the game is to hit the ball over 300 yards. That's what everybody's trying to do, and I can certainly help you guys do that. Hey, Steve from Dallas. But ultimately, it's all about getting it into the hole. And the thing that's so crazy, Portland. Hey, Matthew, how are you doing? So, so the point that I'm making is, for me, I seem to get more nervous the closer I get to the hole. Great golfers get more comfortable because they're getting closer to achieving the goal, which is to get the ball holed out. Hey, Luigi from New York. So that's what this year's evolution is all about, is for me to get over that hump. Because guys, I still haven't shot in the 60s. I mean, I can hang with some good guys, and I've shot 70, you know, multiple times, but I can't seem to break that barrier. But I'm starting to believe it. But if I can get this putter working, this bullseye putter, I think that's going to be the next level for me. And hopefully we'll see it, you know, this year in the near future. So I appreciate everybody hanging out to watch. I think this stuff is important. Remember to lift the arms. Don't swing around. Don't let the arms turn. Keep them in front of your chest with no rotation. Lift them, and then make a good weight shift and start your downswing from the ground up. All right, John, thank you guys for all watching, and I'll have many more videos coming out in the very near future. I hope you hit them long and hit them straight.